special meeting of the Rutland Town Select Board. This is Wednesday, November 12th. It's 5:21 p.m. This was called for the purpose of considering the opt-out insurance proposed policy and form. And we have present via Zoom Select Board member Matt Getty, in person Kurt Hathaway, Mary Ashcroft. Joe DiNardo is ill. Sharon Russell had another commitment. So we have a 3-member board, so we can conduct, we have a quorum, we can conduct business. I will say that just to bring everyone up to date, what we have in front of us are a one-page form which originated, thank you, Bill, for getting these forms and policy in front of us, the form originated from the city of Burlington. The policy itself was from the city of Winooski. Bill got these to Matt and I as the personnel committee. Over the weekend, we put language in that what we did was conform it to our town policy. So it could, if we pass it, it goes right in the policy book. And we also, put Town of Rutland in, and we, as best as we could, conformed it and tweaked the stuff. Then Bill sent these to the League of Cities and Towns. They have their service that allows them to do a review. Remember, yesterday was a holiday, so that didn't help things. But they were able to review, and they got this marked up. So if you have the light blue version, this is the comments from the League of Cities and Towns. I also reached out either 2 or 3 times to town attorney so that he would have the policy and know what we were discussing, but I have not heard back from him. So I don't know whether he is, he's offering no comments on that. So we don't have input from town attorney, but we do from the League of Cities and Towns. Okay, that's what we got. Matt.
Yes.
Let me start with, we've got the proposed changes from the League of Cities and Towns. When we left the discussion, as I remember from the select board last Tuesday, we said we were, and Kurt was very clear, as was appropriate, and he said a policy. So that's why we have one of these sheets is the policy. What is not clear in the League of Cities and Towns flagged it is, does this apply to buyouts for single employee policies, for employee policies with spouse, and or employee policy with family? And so does the buyout option at 50% of the value apply to all 3? Trying to recall our discussion. I think we were talking about all 3, but I don't know. I can be corrected.
I think if that's what Winooski's policy was doing, correct? I hadn't seen that one.
I don't think so. Their sample policy just stated a flat rate per month, which I think was based on the single person, which from the data that Mary has available in that book appears to be, it appears that towns, I guess, are all over the map on this.
Well, first of all, I did a quick and dirty, and less than half of the Vermont towns offer the opt-out, or at least reported that they offered the opt-out. And then some say yes, but don't give any. Some say yes and have a number, and it doesn't a flat rate that they provide. Some say yes, and in the individual column, it says how much they provide. In 2 adults and dependents, it says how much they provide. I'm going to pass this over to Kurt, so he'll see. But it looks like I did a real quick estimate. I think it's just slightly over 100 towns that participate in some way. And we have what, 351 plus a bunch of additional like villages and cities. So it's less than half of the Vermont municipalities that offer this. But they are all over the place. Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. Some are a flat fee. Some are by the policy.
I'm just trying to see what some towns around us were doing.
Yeah.
Within, the county.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like Mendon's doing family plans as well.
Okay.
So the Winooski policy said that employees would receive $150 per week. So that would be $7,800 a year, which is a lot, but it's a flat rate. So that would be, that's going to be less than 50% of the family rate. I don't know what the individual rate is.
Kurt's got the book, so
Yeah. Well, these are for the opt-outs. I don't know what a full, I don't know what we're paying for a single versus a family as a town.
yeah, the city of Winooski. And yeah, it's flat. Employees choosing to opt out will receive 150 per week, subject to ordinary income taxes. Participants in the opt-out program must sign a release and show proof of medical benefits through another source other than the city. Proof of medical benefits must be updated annually. Okay. This benefit is available to one member of a family only if they are covered by the same medical benefits policy. And then the next paragraph, with this choice, an employee would opt out for themselves and their eligible dependents. So it's a flat $150 a week, it looks like, for regardless of which plan. That's Winooski's, and that's not the way we drafted ours, following what we were discussing.
Yeah, they are all over the board.
Yep. We got any others that are close to us? Fairhaven, Castleton.
And then Wallingford was a flat rate.
Okay.
West Rutland's a flat rate. The city's 1,000 on individual, 3,000 on adults, 3,000 on a family, essentially.
That's 3,000 a year.
I assume so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Pittsford's flat rate. Oh, what else we got? Yeah, Mendon's all broke down. They look like they're probably paying like 50% across the board.
That's Mendon.
That's Mendon.
What about Pulteney?
They're not on the list.
Yes, it seems like there could be I can foresee some administrative difficulty in determining what somebody would be eligible for if the rates vary, because, you'd think on first blush it'd be easy if you had somebody who's on the family plan and then they go off it. But what if you got like a divorce situation? Then what, you have to have the employee certify as to who's responsible for what, for covering what
Mhm.
for whom, and how much they're paying. I have no idea how that would work.
Well, I mean,
So,
I saw that, and I'm sort of familiar with some of the orders that come in on child support and parentage. So if they're saying, I mean, a child support order will have that information, whether it's a divorce or a parentage. So, and it will say who is responsible, and it will say how much is being paid.
okay, but what if how do you decide whose policy they're on? What if they're on a spouse's policy and then our employee comes in and says, well, I want to count them as not being on mine and you should pay me the half of the family rate? I mean, it's,
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's gonna, or the guy or gal is gonna, the employee is gonna have to be honest and say, yeah, I'm not covering any dependents. And if it turns out that in fact they were ordered to, then that could present a problem.
But also, even if they just say, here's my order, if the order says they're on the spouse's insurance, but you're paying X dollars a month, how does that filter through our policy as currently drafted? If we're going to does that mean you treat it? I don't know what that would mean because they're not really, they're already on the spouse, but you're saying, oh, well, because you have a family, then you get half the family rate, or
I just switched over to the form, which requires a certification that I am not required by any court order to provide coverage to my dependents. So,
which I mean, that came out of the Burlington form, I
right.
think, but I still don't understand what that means. I mean, what if they are required to provide for the dependents? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we would
that
have
could
to
mean two
say,
things. They could be divorced, they could be the custodial parent and they're providing, could
mhm,
mean they're not the custodial parent, but they're providing payments for that support. I mean,
yep.
it's not clear to me at all in that form what significance that sentence has for the administration of the policy. And I
Well, I
kind
want
of
it in.
you
I
want it
mean, I
in
think it's a pretty important one because
to
where it
do well,
says,
to do what? Oh, what
well,
does it
no,
accomplish?
where it says, I have attached reasonable evidence that I and my expected tax family have minimal essential coverage. And a court order requiring one or the other of the parents to pay, it would be part of what I would look for if I knew the employee was divorced or had was paying child support.
Okay, but if they're saying that they're covered, then they're covered. Like if they're covered under the spouse, then they're covered under the spouse. But I don't understand why you'd have a form that says, I'm certifying that I'm not responsible if people very well may be responsible, and it's not clear to me what impact that has on this policy. When all we have to determine is one, everybody's covered, and two, how much we're paying them if they're opting out. And I
If the employee opts out and they were otherwise supposed to be covering somebody, then because there's a court order saying they are, then that's the problem that I think that's one sentence in there is supposed to fix.
to me it does, to me it just confuses the issue because if in order to opt out, we're saying you have to certify that you and your dependents are covered by other
Yeah.
adequate insurance.
Yep.
Mhm.
So if they're covered, they're covered. I
I
mean,
mean,
I guess maybe
Yeah.
the point is, okay, if they're on the spouse's insurance and you're saying they're covered, I don't know, you're opting out, so they're clearly not on the employees.
right.
That you have to say, I'm not responsible because the spouse has them or something. But that still doesn't answer how that affects our payment policy. Does that mean that the
us.
spouse was responsible in the first place, so we're only paying out on the single rate or not.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I kind of suspect this is why some of these towns are going with flat rates.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, Kurt, did you see examples there where they're paying different amounts depending on the type of policy, or is it all just
Yeah, there's both.
There's like 4 or 5 different columns. One is single.
Yeah.
The next is 2-person, so employee and spouse, or one dependent. And then the third is family, and then to the far end is flat rate.
Yeah. Yeah, they have, it's individual, adult, independent, which would be like one parent and a kid, and then 2 adults.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 adults with no children, and then 2 adults and a dependent, and then a flat rate.
Carrie?
Something to consider when you're thinking about rates, is, for example, let's take an employee here that
Just Matt, can you hear Carrie okay?
yes?
Okay, go ahead.
that doesn't currently get our insurance, but is now eligible to get a buyout, right? How do we determine what to give that person? What do they have to prove to us? Like, would we give them a single plan? Would we give them because they have a wife, two-person? So like, it goes along with what you're saying. We just have to think about how this is going to look in each scenario and how
Mhm.
people are going to like,
See, yeah,
for
you could-
example, if I had a family plan, if I get off of it, are we going to pay out at the family plan?
Right.
And that's what you were talking
Right.
about, but like for everybody, how do we know what new people would be?
So we hire somebody new full-time, or at least 30 hours or more.
What I mean is like the people that are here already, but they are now eligible for the buyout. Or anyone, how do we determine which one we're gonna give them if you come up with half of plans versus a flat rate?
Is it half
Right,
of
see,
our
you could-
plan?
you
Yeah.
could have a situation too where spouses are currently on separate plans. So if the employee spouse then goes off our plan and joins their spouse on the other plan, are we paying the 2-person half of the 2-person rate, or do we pay half the individual? Because they were only on an individual plan to begin with, but so all of these permutations make me think we might be better off just setting a generous flat rate, regardless of who you are. This is what it's going to be, and whatever number we come up with should, of course, be less than what the individual premium would be. But
Yeah. Kurt, can you give us, I'll get you. Can you give us an idea of how many towns went with a flat rate out of those?
Oh man, there's 87 opt-outs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 out of 87.
24 out of flat rate? Okay. Yeah, Jim.
so,
Oh, wait.
sorry.
I can't imagine that an insurer would be incapable of providing some sort of declaration page saying that this person, like, let's say I switch to my spouse's policy, which would also be through Blue Cross Blue Shield, just a separate policy, right, through my spouse's employer. They can then provide a declaration page saying that Jimmy Placus is insured through us, which is categorized as a family plan, and some sort of synopsis explaining that I am covered under that plan, specifically being a family plan. At that point, you would know that my buyout would be equivalent to a family plan rather than a single person, because you know that that is the coverage I'm getting, which is the same coverage I would have gotten had I been in the town. I get what Matt said about you have 2 employees on, or you have an employee and a spouse on their own insurance plans, and you now switch over, you're giving them a two-person buyout. Sure, if you come across those circumstances, I guess that's entirely possible, probably unlikely.
There will be.
But regardless, I would imagine that, Blue Cross Blue Shield or whoever would be able to provide some sort of declaration page saying what insurance plan it is that you have now.
Sure.
Which would, I think, clear up some of the question of how do we know what they have, rather than just an ID card saying, yes, I have insurance. It's an actual page showing, this is the insurance plan that they have.
Yep.
Yeah. The proof isn't going to be the problem. It's going to be the policy of what determines what we pay. So under that scenario, Jimmy's suggesting that it's a results-oriented decision, I guess. You enrolled in a family plan, and therefore we would pay based on a family rate. But that's kind of the policy decision. It begs the question as to whether that is how it should work. As far as like being on separate policies, I don't know how common this is anymore because a lot has changed in policies, but my spouse and I started out our careers on separate policies for a few years because it was a weird circumstance where it was more beneficial overall for us to each be on those separate plans. And surprise, surprise, that changed when she went to work for a government entity. So, but before that, we were both working for private employers, and that wasn't how it worked.
Okay, so our previous discussion last week was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was 50% of whatever type policy.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're still.
Are we? So I'm checking in on that. Is that where we're going with this? And we've only got 3 of us because the other 2 are not here.
Yeah, so we're gonna pay 50% of whatever policy they would have been on, I guess, would be the. So if they would have been on a family plan or were on a family plan, or they're moving to a family plan, then you're gonna buy out the family plan. Yes, it would be
So my summary was
what's
correct.
speaking to me.
That's what we were headed last time.
What's speaking to me.
Okay. Matt, is that kind of the direction you're going in?
I think that is what we talked about last time. I just am concerned that we're gonna run into operational issues. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel a little bit like we're rushing blind into something, and I don't know how we
very much like we're rushing this, and I'm pretty uncomfortable with that. I mean, honestly, yeah.
I think if we try to go that route, we're better just brace ourselves for having to make some decisions because issues will come up and we're just going to have to decide how to interpret the policy, which I guess is what we're here for in part. Maybe it won't turn out to be that complicated. It's very situation dependent, so maybe today it's not going to be a problem, but I have a feeling we'll see new circumstances arise over time, maybe some that we haven't even thought about. But to me, the most potentially confusing one is a divorce situation and how that's supposed to work. And
God, did you break your chair?
No, it just slipped out.
It's the first insurance claim right here.
Yeah. I wish I had town insurance.
I know, really, that would be nice.
Question, who would administer this policy?
Well, I mean, we have, our plan is with what, Blue Cross? Okay, so, and then it's Carrie does the payroll deductions. Well, she would be doing the payout periodically. Winooski, for example, if she were town clerk treasurer of Winooski, she'd be paying out $150 a week. I think that's their policy. So it'd be part of the payroll process from the payout end.
Would she be the one that would be determining whether a person fit under the policy? And I'm trying to address what Matt is saying.
Well, my suspicion is if she had a question, she'd come to us, or first she'd go to, well, she probably would come to the personnel committee. Yeah, that would be my guess.
So basically, I'll be the administrator of it, most likely. And I like the idea that I'm just gonna use the example. So say Mike Rowe, right? He's gonna be eligible for this now, where he doesn't take our insurance now.
Mhm.
I would then require a declaration for how much I'm going, like, am I gonna look at the single plan? Or am I gonna look at the two-person because he has a wife? But he has to provide that proof
Right.
to me. So I like that idea. If we're gonna go this route, I just want everything covered.
Mhm.
And if we're going to go this route, then if you have kids, I also need the declarations for them. And you're right, Blue Cross does do declarations. I am not certain about other insurances,
Mhm.
would assume. But that would be on the responsibility of the employee wanting the buyout.
So another
Your
similar,
satisfaction.
Fortunately, in this state, you got Blue Cross and MVP are the only two health insurance companies out there, so. Blue
so
Cross
another
covers
similar
healthcare.
permutation of that scenario is you could have a married employee who is not on our policy. They could have a spouse that's insured elsewhere. Or actually, I guess well, I guess it's similar to what I said before. You could have a situation where the employee is on it, spouse is not, and then they go off. Do they get a single person buyout or a two-person buyout? Or they're not on it. This is what Carrie suggested. We have somebody who's not on it now, who's not eligible. Spouse may be insured through another employer or other means. Employee now becomes eligible. So do they get this again? Do they get the single person or do they get two person?
I would say they get the single person because but
You have to look at what the potential insurance burden on the town would be.
yeah,
So if there's the possibility that the town would assume a family plan from that family, then we have to pay half of that family plan.
Then you also have this Medicare issue, which gets even more complicated if you got an employee who's not on Medicare, but a spouse who is.
Mhm.
So if we say you get a two-person, that could be interpreted as incentivizing, well, I guess maybe that's the reverse situation.
yeah.
You can't incentivize somebody to go off a plan and get on Medicare if they're eligible,
That's
which I
right.
suppose could happen through a spouse as well, potentially. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Have
not
we
sure.
also thought of potential, like, elected officials that are interested in it? Well, March is 3 months into the calendar year. What happens if they don't get reelected? Are they eligible for the first 3 months, January, February, March? And then they're not eligible anymore, so it's like.
Well, if they would have to decide now,
Yeah.
right? Because this is the window right now.
This is the window for January, right?
Right. So if they wanted to, and they're gonna run for reelection
Yeah.
or, or not. But there's that, January, February, up until town meeting day. They would be entitled to it.
They would be entitled to it. That's, I guess, my
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
And that kind of says that.
If they were 30 hours or more, I mean, that's, yeah. Select board's excluded, of course, so we're
thinking
doing
of
this
all
in
situations.
isolation. All right, so where are we? We've got, it sounds like we're still headed toward, we've discussed and moved away from the flat fee.
Yeah.
We're going back to what we talked about.
I think I'm still leaning towards the flat fee personally, because I feel like we could discuss these permutations till we're blue in the face and we're not going to know the answers. And then we're going to end up spending our time trying to administer this policy. But
So if you were doing flat fee, what do you have in mind for a number?
I don't know. Carrie, do you happen to have the rates nearby?
I can go grab them, but I know a family plan is just over $3,900 a month.
Do you know what the individual is?
I can go grab it.
Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Just so you know, Kurt, that microphone is very sensitive.
Yeah, it's fine.
What's he doing?
If
Nothing. You didn't hear it.
if the people on TV could look at my calculator right now, they'd understand why.
We're gonna get omnidirectional cameras as well as sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna go away.
Okay.
Try to hit it here and then.
All right. So this is that we're going with the 2026 premiums per month. Okay. So employee only is 1409.43. Two person is 2818.86. Employee plus child is 2720.20, so it's slightly less than the two person. And the family is 3960.50, and these are per month. This is what we will be paying.
That's not the 50%.
Okay.
That's the
So
full rate of what we pay as a town for the premium. If you want half, you take half. Yeah.
So here's my thought. So the individual,
I wrote them down, but
Okay.
sure.
the individual was just under $17,000 a year. The family is over 47,000, which if you divide by 2 is 23,763. So that's a roughly $6,700 delta between those two. I'm thinking we just do a flat rate based on the individual, the full individual rate. That would save us, I mean, because it's not as much as half of the family, but it's most of it.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about any of those different scenarios. I don't think you opt out, you get the individual rate. That's still a lot more generous than what Winooski was doing. I don't know how it
Yeah.
compares, Kurt, to those other ones. It may
Well,
still be
So the average is $3,933, and the median's $4,000.
Per year.
for the,
I assume this whole thing's per year.
well, that's an important distinction. It must be because more than the family plan doesn't cost that much. So
yeah,
it
that's
must,
why I can't imagine it's got to be per year, or maybe some are per month, and that's why. Because like
well, if
North,
they're not all reporting it the same, then that kind of renders the whole thing useless. But
Yeah.
yeah, because Pownell's $80. So is that $80
well,
a week?
again, probably because Winooski was $150 a week. That's $7,800 a year, which is, that's like half of the individual rate.
Yeah, let's see. There's only one flat rate that's Montgomery Town's 13,715 flat rate, which is
And those are those 2025 numbers, or are they older than
Yeah.
that?
I'm guessing,
it says 25. I don't know if that's 24
And you know-
statistics or
it could be what they're paying right now, which is it would be the 24 rate, because this was compiled before anybody knew what the January 1st rate in 26. So this is probably 25 rates, the current rate, not the projected January
Oh,
1st.
certainly.
Yeah.
My question is, could it be even older than that? Because 13,000 could have been the
Oh, yeah,
individual
it
rate
can
2
be.
years ago.
it could have been, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like an official,
Well, that's the thing. If we flat rate it, we're gonna have to revisit it every 3-4 years.
Well,
Probably.
not if you say, I mean, you could just, there's a couple of ways you could do this. One is you revisit it every year, you set the rate, or if the policy says you get the full individual premium, then whatever it is, it is.
Yeah.
So to me, that sounds like it would be quite generous compared to other towns and would be easy to administer. And hopefully still save us money in the process.
Mary. We subject to open discussion here?
not really, Don.
Oh,
I mean,
No, I got a question, that's all.
what's the question?
Well, the question is that we're talking about a benefit
Yes,
that wasn't initially there, and you're talking about a policy to provide the benefit. Correct?
kind of, but the flip side is we're saving the town money. Because if we're
Yeah.
not paying the premium and we're only paying half of the premium, then we're saving the town money. So it's two-sided.
Right, those are the two sides of that. And my question is, from a board's perspective, what is your intent as far as the individual is concerned in terms of providing this benefit? What would you like what would you like the employee to gain from this? In other words,
A choice.
well, in terms of employment benefits that a community provides. In other words, the reasons for benefits are to attract good employees.
Yeah.
To keep good employees, et cetera, et cetera. We can name all of them. And I would think that would probably should come into the picture, because
Of
it's
course.
hard to find good people.
Well, yeah, Don, yes, yes. Do remember, we were just hit with this about a week ago,
Right.
10 days ago. So we're scrambling because the open enrollment period doesn't go all the way through November
December 7th.
for some, but not all.
Yeah.
There
Well,
are
I
other,
mean,
yeah,
to Don's point, I mean, it's an
Yeah.
added benefit to the employees because they
it
have a
is
choice.
because they
if
have a
can,
choice. Okay,
If taking the benefit gets them, if they can get their insurance elsewhere and they can take this and come out ahead, then that's an additional benefit that they don't currently have.
Right. But I kind of agree with what Mary said initially about, you're under the gun and you really think you're being rushed onto this thing, and I kind of tend to agree with you. Because you gotta think of budget considerations as well, and you've got to project out what it could be if people choose this or that or the other. Plus, you
Well,
gotta-
we will know, the choices will be made because open enrollment ends this month. So we will know by December what people have chosen.
For the next budget year, yeah.
We put it in the budget for the coming year then.
Mm-hmm.
well, we have
But
this
we would
weird
be
thing, Don, because the premium year starts January 1st. We've run into this before, you'll remember. And we don't know what the premium is when we're setting our budget beginning July 1st. That's, so we're guessing on some of, we don't, we never know how many employees will change.
Well,
You know,
So it's theoretically possible.
Well, I mean, we've been doing this
That-
for a long time.
It's theoretically possible that we could set a policy that then nobody opts out, but we end up with people that
Yeah,
do get a benefit that they didn't have, and it ends up costing us more for the second half of the current fiscal year.
Yeah, it
That's
could.
theoretically possible.
yeah. We can't really do, we're going to try this for half a year because people's insurance is set for a full year, so we can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, anything we do, the town's gonna come out ahead, really.
Well-
Even if we're paying the single premium, town's not gonna come out ahead on that one, but if you have, as soon as you have one family opt out, your savings are there.
what is Stowe,
Well,
Manchester? Are they on the list?
I don't know if they are not. Yeah, Manchester has their rate set. They're an even number rate, so they must just set them. It's like 3,500 for an individual.
For the year, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm,
and it's 8,000 on a family plan. So I mean, we'd be doing double that if we covered the single person.
so Matt's thinking flat fee, or actually, don't let me say it wrong. What if we took and we said we will pay at the what, 100% of the individual plan?
Of the town's individual plan rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct.
Yep. That would do it.
It's simple.
Go
I
ahead.
presume that would be sufficient for people to actually take advantage of, but if
Yeah.
there's somebody there who thinks otherwise, I'd be curious to hear.
Yeah, I do want to hear from the employees just a little bit.
Well,
We did
let's
we
see.
did this with a personnel policy and then we got some kickback
We did
afterwards, so.
have, we did have a few people who are actively thinking about it. In fact, the person who brought it in. So what do you think?
Respectfully, I would just stay on the town's policy if they're gonna do 100% of the single person. The way that I personally came into this through my department was by doing 50% of whatever policy that you currently have, or I guess would be eligible for.
Mhm.
That is a big difference between a 50% of a family plan or 100% of an individual plan. I understand the simplicity of doing, no matter what it is, you just get 100% of the individual plan. I get that that's more simple in theory. It doesn't seem to answer any of the questions that Matt had about the possible circumstances with divorces and other, things that could come up. I don't think that either that flat rate or the family plan or whatever, 50% of whatever you're actually eligible for. I don't think the flat rate really solves any of those questions other than making it more simple on an accounting end. But again, if you came in.
And the budgeting end too.
Okay.
Yeah. But I hear your point.
Well,
Just
You're talking a $7,000 difference between paying half a family plan and versus a full single. You're like $7,000.
So I think it does solve those other issues because you're not having to worry about all the permutations of the employee's family and how you determine what they could theoretically be eligible for. They have opted out, they get the flat rate. Now, so that flat rate is currently almost $17,000. So if you have another policy available to you you know, this is advantageous unless switching to that policy is going to cost you more than $17,000, which, you know, it depends on the insurance, but certainly the town's insurance benefit is as generous as you're going to get. I don't know how many others are providing 100%.
There's a different flip chart in there for that.
Oh, yeah, there is.
There
Well,
is.
I don't mean in terms of,
Not a
well,
lot.
okay, I guess it could vary amongst towns too, but other government employers may not be doing that. I don't think
No.
teachers are doing that. And so you just kind of have to do the math and decide whether you
Okay,
come out ahead.
Chris Clark has something he wants to say.
Just say what the number is. You probably said it 12 times. I just.
Okay, so
For the single, whatever you.
the per monthly individual plan, if we just said we're gonna pay 100% or whatever the value is, so that's $1,409.43, which for the year comes out to $16,913. So it's almost $17,000. So if you had a family plan, yeah, you ignore that. I mean, that's what you're gonna get. No,
$16,003. I'm gonna come shake your hand.
I gave you a fire truck. I gave you a fire station.
Well,
Come
I
on.
still would now have to, like my spouse, for example, my specific situation, my spouse works for the state of Vermont, so we're not currently on her insurance, so she doesn't have to pay into it. She doesn't get a buyout through that, but she doesn't have to pay into it because she's not using it, obviously. For us to then go onto her plan, that will cost us money. It's not free. They don't pay 100% of the
Right.
premium
Yeah,
like the town does.
yeah.
So that's where I'm looking at it from, is I still have to pay that. So it's not $17,000. It's significantly less than that.
It would be 17 minus whatever the premiums are
Right,
that
which
you'd
is
have
still
to pay on
benefit
the
where
other.
we're currently at, but the
Yeah.
reason that I thought of it the way that I proposed it was actually based on the way the city has done it in the past and has a grandfathered version of it, which is the 50% of the way that we've already talked about this, right? 50%
Yes.
of what you're eligible for.
Yep.
At that point, it would be beneficial enough for me to want to do it, but I'm only speaking on behalf of myself here, but
No, I understood.
flat rate at the individual.
Do you know, and are you willing to share what you'd have to pay in for the other program?
It's $377 per pay period for a family plan. So that's, I just had it up here. Hold on. $377.
377 times 26.
You're shy of $10,000 a year for the family plan through the state. That would be what we would have to pay. And again, I understand that, whatever, almost.
So if you got
$7,000.
17 on the buyout and you'd have to pay in, so you'd net 7, so it isn't
Yeah.
huge, but
You'd still be coming out ahead by about this, by almost as much as Winooski is paying in their entire benefit.
right, yeah. Yeah,
That's the other, if it's not a platinum plan and your deductibles change, it might not be.
It is
worth it.
slightly different. It's obviously also Blue Cross Blue Shield, but it's not the exact same plan. So
Yeah.
that's also something to consider. But
That's.
Yep.
again, I'm only speaking on behalf of myself
Yeah.
here.
and that's, I mean,
I don't want
there
to
are a
sue the
lot of
town and having brought
variables.
this up and then not do myself, and now you also have to pay for other people who weren't otherwise using the town's insurance.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
yeah.
if it fits
Well,
for
that's-
you, it's bound to fit for somebody else. That's why we want to hear about it.
Well, that's exactly why I brought that up earlier, because if we know we have a few employees who are thinking about it, but if they decide that what I proposed wasn't good enough, and then suddenly we're having to pay that to a couple other people that aren't currently getting anything, then it's costing us money that we haven't budgeted in this budget. So I don't know what to say about that. I feel like what I proposed is generous, but I mean, I'm willing to keep studying this issue, but we're running out of time. So, I mean, maybe we need to go look at what the city's doing and consider it for next year, but I guess I'd want to hear from them, like how this actually is working in practice.
if they-
Maybe it's
if
not as
they-
complicated as I started to think it might be.
Well, if the employee shows up with a declaration from Blue Cross or MVP that says they are on a family plan, they're being provided coverage through a family plan, then that's what you would pay out on. If it's getting provided through like a 2 individual plan, then that's what you'd pay out on.
So that's the 50%
If we
thing that
went-
we were
if we-
talking about last meeting.
If we went 50%, that's how we would know what to pay out on, is what the declaration says from the insurance company,
From their new
from
insurance.
their new insurance company.
No. We're paying on what? Half of what we would pay,
Yeah,
not
well,
what the rate is for the insurance. I mean, it could
Well,
be the
half-
same insurance company.
yeah, but half of what, so if I'm talking about plan coverage, what plan they're on, whatever
okay.
declarations that says they're on, say, if they're on, they go onto their spouse and it's a 2-person plan,
Mhm.
then we pay out half the 2-person.
Yep.
If they go onto a family plan, then we pay out half the family
Half the
plan.
family plan according to the rate we would be paying.
Yes, because we're essentially, we're saying thank you. We're
Going with the other one.
for going
Yeah.
with the other one and saving us this much, so we're paying you half of that money back,
Yeah.
so we're saving half. Because otherwise they would say, well, we're just gonna hop on the town insurance because the town pays 100% and it's
do.
great insurance and
We do. And I expect there probably are going to be other people who are not, I mean, there's probably quite a few who are not getting 100% premium coverage. So that would be a big factor, I think.
it's all in the math that
It is. I mean,
that
you really got to
individuals
sit down
have
and
to
crunch
do.
the numbers for your family.
I suppose the divorce situation maybe doesn't come up because the employee can't leave, they're not, they can only work the one job that's going to provide insurance, so they're not going to be going to another insurer.
Now, a
But
couple of things on
the-
divorces. I think, first of all, they've got COBRA coverage possibilities, which is usually more expensive. Secondly, they've got a court order that issues as soon as the divorce is filed saying, freeze, you got to keep paying what you're paying. You can't stop. You can't start switching insurances or dropping insurances. So they've got a little time. And then I think it becomes a life event. So even if you're outside the policy renewal window, I think you can still go in and make a change. I think that's correct. Okay.
Divorce is listed under life event.
Okay. All right. That would do it. Yeah, Chief.
That's what I want to say. The court thing, I think, as far as divorces go, it's going to be what the court tells them to do. There's
Yeah.
a paper. It's not on the town to.
No. No, it's just us needing proof of where we are.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be as complicated as Matt's making it be. I don't think.
Okay. So, well, there's 2 proposals. There's the 50% whatever plan that you opt out of. 50% of the cost to the town was saved. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Or it's flat rate, 100% of what an individual plan is, the cost to the town. So that's where we are.
Yeah.
So we could change the policy, I guess, just to say that we're going to base the rate on what you end up on, like Kurt was saying. I think that would help clarify from what the current draft
Okay, wait, so
says.
I tried to rephrase what he was saying, but now you're going back to what he was saying. So it's 50% of the plan that you move to.
Not
Is
of that rate, but just that what you move to tells us whether it's a 2-person or it's,
what
Gotcha.
policy package
Okay.
essentially,
yeah.
whatever they call that. in
Well, if
insurance
somebody
world.
gets married, if an employee gets married during the policy year and they're an employee of the town, we're gonna put them on the 2-person plan anyway. So
The,
unless they have something else.
Yeah, unless they go to their
Yeah.
spouses.
well, when they move from the town, they're either going to be, I guess, on a 2-person or they're going to be on a family. They're not going to be on a single because unless they're
Yeah.
working another full-time job that they can get insurance through.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be possible. So I guess all we really need is for them to sort of include in their proof what they're getting. But again, you could have somebody who's on a single person plan with us who's married, who then goes off of it and then gets a two-person plan, I suppose. Or, well,
Yeah,
So,
and
I mean, that's
like-
unlikely because they're not going to be.
Well, that's the thing. And
I
like,
don't know.
if you're looking at, say you have a married couple and they're both individually on their employer's insurance. I mean, I don't even think that'd be a thing because somebody's insurance is going to be lesser than the town's and they're going to get on the town or
Right,
their,
but when
you know,
when you factor in the payment, the buyout payment, then you could still come out ahead. So you could have somebody who's on a single premium, goes on to a spouse, that becomes a two-person plan. So then we pay them, if we're paying them half of the two-person rate, I guess probably we're still coming out ahead, right? Because it's half of the two-person rate. Well, it'd be very close.
it'd be
It
even.
is.
Barely.
No, it's actually
barely.
double. It's actually doubled right down to the penny.
Yeah, it is. It's the same.
It's exactly the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
But
2 persons is 2 times the individual.
yep.
Yeah,
But I guess that's one of the rare instances where we're not gonna save any money on it. But as soon as they jump to a family plan, we're gonna save considerable money. You know, if we're buying them out of a family
But
plan.
again, like, so Mike doesn't currently get it at all, but then if he's theoretically eligible for a two-person plan, then you're paying him $17,000
yep.
that we're not currently paying at all.
Then he's got to mow everything for free.
So it's hard for me.
That or the seniors are gonna get a lot less food in there.
That's right. So are we
It's hard for
moving
me to
toward-
see that we're going to actually save money. I don't know if we are going to save money.
I
We
don't
might
know
lose
if we
money.
are. I don't know if we are.
Well, yeah, it depends on how many families we have that will move. Because once you start moving family plans, that's where you're gonna save all your money
Yep.
to offset what we're gonna have to pay
And
out
then,
singles.
if it's one spouse who's the stay-at-home, that it's not going to work at all.
Yep.
Yeah. Or one spouse, mostly stay-at-home part-time, not going to work. Carrie or Bill, we haven't heard from you two.
Bill seemed purposeful in that note.
No, I,
You don't have to, but yeah,
I mean, I've spent I've been a long time looking at the policies and looking at the book, and there seems to be no unanimous consent on what's the best way to do this.
no kidding.
It is a policy and but if it's adopted, then there's no choice but to leave it in place for a year.
A year and a half, because it'll be,
No.
well,
year,
but we can only budget for a
Right.
year and a half. That's the
right.
problem.
But
Yeah,
if you decide in October, notifying everybody, this policy is going to be ended effective November 1st, and it tells everybody, like, this didn't work. It was a great experiment,
Yeah.
didn't work, we're ending the policy. That can happen too.
yep,
It is a benefit, and there are some that are gonna take advantage of it, and some that are not, and
Yeah.
I think there's really gonna be no way to know how well it's gonna work till we give it a try.
probably true.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so do we have a motion somewhere? It's
Have-
gotta be Matt or
Have,
Kurt.
have we
Oh.
figured
The
some?
other one's
Have,
got a
have we
second.
figured enough out to make a motion? I'm gonna let
Kurt,
I'm gonna let
restate
the
your-
oth- I'm gonna let the other attorney do it.
You do it, go ahead.
I
You're the
think,
one who got us this far.
Well, I
so
should have
your
been writing
motion was
notes
good.
because I don't remember what the heck I said.
Well,
think-
no,
I
we
think
weren't sure.
Kurt-
We had to go listen. So
I think Kurt should make the motion and then we should put him onto the personnel committee.
personnel committee.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Okay.
As long as I get health insurance.
By the way, I think I want to amend what I said because in case it's presidential, if if Mike is on a single person plan through another avenue, then I think Kurt's pending motion would result in paying just a single person rate rather than, but
Yeah.
I guess it amounts to the same, but it would be half the single person rather than half the two persons. So
Yeah.
that would make a difference, but we don't really know.
So what do we want a motion to go for 50% of the family rate or the 50% of how was I gonna word that?
Yeah.
I
Let's see if there's any help in the policy.
It's 50%.
Okay, employees choosing opt-out will receive 1/2 of the value of the insurance premium otherwise paid by the town, prorated and payable per pay period.
So
That's from the
we're
policy that we will also have to adopt if that's the way we're headed.
so we were talking about 50% of the town rate. The town rate for the package that the employee moved to. So
Will
it's,
receive 1/2 of the value of the insurance premium otherwise to be paid by the town.
that's what it says now.
Well, we
Well,
haven't
that-
adopted it yet, but that's the proposed language that's the,
Yeah, so otherwise paid by the town, so how
Yes.
are we gonna? Otherwise. It's gotta be 50%. I'm trying to figure out how the wording to get that package that they're going to.
why?
That's what it says. Sorry if I'm speaking out of turn.
Well, the way I read it now, it could be what the town would have payable by period. Opt-out receive 1/2 the value of the insurance premium, otherwise paid by the town. So that's what the town's paying now.
I
But if-
think it would have to be otherwise payable by the town, and then we add a sentence that says what that means.
There you go.
The
See, I told you to do it, Matt.
so that sentence would be
Changing paid to payable right now.
right, and then I think we have to add how we determine what would have been payable, which the package for which an employee would be eligible to be paid will be determined by the alternate package for which they are determined to be eligible.
Say that again. I'm trying to take it down.
No, that's been recorded. Bill can play it back and tell you what I just said.
It would be, the packet, oh.
What
And-
the employee's eligible for, I mean, simply.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out the language for.
Well, yeah, because, well, I guess it would be what the employee's eligible for, not what they're on currently. So like if they
Right,
were
so
on
the
a single plan
package-
now,
package for which the employee is is eligible shall be determined by the alternate package for which under which they obtain coverage, I guess.
All right. So what I've got, the package that the employee would be paid for would be what the employee is determined by, all right. Is determined by what the, okay, you're gonna have to do that again, sorry, because started and stopped and stuff from the audience.
Oh, I
and, you know.
can't.
Okay, do you
pick up on it either.
Yeah,
do you get texts on your phone?
oh,
You put it in writing.
yeah,
Um, available pay period.
So if I text you, will you get it?
if you text to my phone or you email me, it'll come up either way on my phone.
Okay, let me email it to you.
Payable by the town.
Well, actually, then if I can email it, I don't have to type it with my thumbs. Get on the proper email account. Good thing I stayed at my desk.
Good thing. Did you send something?
Nope, still typing.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of sentence to explain it, because otherwise, say they were on a single plan, or they were on a 2-person plan, then had a kid. You know, if they're on their
Otherwise be
spouses,
eligible to bump up to a family
yeah,
plan.
so they can come
So
back.
they should be able to bump up
They
to
should
the
be able-
reimbursement. at
They should be
half.
able to get that
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there needs to be some sort of sentence, because otherwise what the premium the town paid would have been a 2-person before they had a child. I just hope this declaration coming from Blue Cross says what package they're on. I've never
Okay, I
seen.
emailed you.
Big company.
I've never seen one. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a declaration. I just don't know if it says, yeah, you're covered, or if it says they're covered by a family plan or
Mine
covered
would
by
not.
a.
Isn't there, and I could be wrong, I think that in the past I've gotten some from Blue Cross saying, like, it's a
Right on
big,
the
thick
card.
packet.
Yeah.
Just saying, like a declaration of what it is, and it's actually a full package showing you exactly what your coverage is.
Your
Your names, all your
shows it
people in
too,
it.
Jimmy.
Oh, all right, well, there you have
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't know. I'm self-employed. I wouldn't know.
Look at it.
Yeah.
well, the teacher's retirement is the Vermont Blue, and
Yeah.
the card will tell you right on it what plan.
Okay, here it
Yeah, it
is.
does.
Here it is. This is what. And this goes, I'm assuming on the policy, Matt, in the 1, 2, 3rd paragraph.
Yeah, 3rd paragraph. After where it says Where are we? Yeah, so whereas it says now employees choosing opt-out will receive one half the value of the
Of the
insurance
insurance.
premium otherwise payable by the town prorated, yada, yada, yada. So then the next
Okay.
sentence
Next sentence,
would
okay. and
insert, except I already think I need to slightly alter what I just said, but
That's okay, let's
ahead.
get it down. The next sentence after that is the employee shall be eligible for payment based on the alternate insurance package for which the employee is determined to be eligible. For example, an employee who enrolls in an alternate family plan shall be paid one half of the town family plan rate.
So I actually suggest modifying that slightly to
Okay.
say, instead of saying determined to be eligible, you should say the alternate insurance package in which the employee enrolls.
Okay,
Mhm.
and Bill, for your records, so please,
Just forward the text message to him.
I could do that, or Matt could do it. Anyway, no, we've got to amend it. So the amended is the employee shall be eligible for payment based on the alternate insurance package in which the employee is enrolled. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you go on. For example, an employee who enrolls in an alternate family plan shall be paid one half of the town family plan rate. Okay,
Sounds like what we're trying to do.
I think so.
Sometimes it helps to actually say what you're trying to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Based on the,
Kurt,
damn
is
it.
your employer that generous?
My employer's gonna have to start being that generous if he wants to keep good employees.
Yeah,
There you go.
So I'm taking a copy of this home with me. It's on this month's project.
in which
To himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
the
Might
employee
bankrupt me, but somebody will have health insurance, maybe. I won't.
rolls.
I won't.
All right, can I just double
Employees
check?
will.
Because I've made a note on mine, Matt. I'm just gonna do. The employee shall be eligible for payment based on the alternate insurance package in which the employee enrolls.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And then the second sentence, for example. All right. Okay. So I'm not sure whether shall we just go straight to the policy with that change and adopt the policy?
I think that's all in the notes. The first note, I'm not picking up what they're trying to
Yeah, the first note
do.
is for the employee and their tax family, this qualifies, that is not just for the employee, but all family members. Oh, below is dental, which does not say whether single or tax family. Dental is outside this. You're not doing anything. You get the dental plan that town provides, period. We're not changing that. Do you think that should include that you do not provide coverage for domestic partners? No, but we haven't been faced with that issue, and if we are, I guess we'll have to make that determination.
Yeah, we'll figure it out then.
So do we make any changes in the first paragraph is the question.
I don't see a need for it.
I don't think any other changes are necessary.
Okay,
So move to approve amended.
move to approve the draft medical insurance policy as amended with Matt's amendment. Okay,
Second.
motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Please, God, no.
Yep.
I have to ask just one question. I'm sorry to do this.
What?
Where it says, I saw this before, hold on. Payroll per period and there's something about it being paid directly into your normal paycheck. I don't know if Carrie has this ability. I understand the tax implication. Is there any way to get it put into a separate paycheck? The reason I ask-
Wait, what it says is prorated and payable per pay period and subject to ordinary income taxes. It doesn't say separate check. It doesn't say anything. It just says
Maybe I misread.
payable per pay period and however she can do it.
If I, just so you know, I learned if you run separate checks for anything
Yeah,
during the
okay.
order week, we'll have to do 2 payroll runs. Fine by me, just so you know, that's what it is. That's what
What
it
would be the purpose of the second check?
A separate
probably
check
reduces
for this.
else with it, you know. So
Can you put it on? I mean, I'm envisioning the old fashioned pay stub and however you do it, but then there's a separate line that says opt-out payment. Isn't that all you have to do?
I can essentially do that,
Okay.
but for a separate check, you know what I mean? Like a.
Do we have to do a separate check? But the policy doesn't say that.
Anything other than make sure it's taxed through
Okay.
payroll.
And if you put it on the payroll check, it's taxed, right?
It is. What Jimmy's saying is it would be on his normal payroll check and he's suggesting to have another check as well, 2 runs.
Like a monthly, a monthly check.
I think that we don't have to make that decision.
Okay.
And it's kind of up to the treasurer, whatever is more convenient for you. I see no reason for doing it separately if it's itemized separately on your pay stub.
So for starters, I did find it. It was actually on the other form here where it does say specifically added to my paycheck each period. The
Okay,
reason that I say that is, and this is a little bit out of my forte, they're not something I normally pay attention to, but don't you get taxed higher? You know, if I work X amount of hours.
I'm not going to give tax advice and you really need to talk to your tax preparer on that.
To avoid that though, which is why I'm saying for a separate check, it would avoid paychecks being taxed at a higher rate potentially. My understanding is if I were to work a certain amount of hours of overtime in a certain pay period, my tax rate would actually go up for that pay period. Like I would actually be, taxed.
I'm comfortable
I
saying
agree.
that your tax rate is going to be determined by your annual income.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can
There you
talk
go.
to your tax preparer, but yeah, it's not like your rate varies, period to period.
Okay. So we've got the policy in front of motion made and seconded to adopt with Matt's changes, which he is texting to Bill. And which
You
I
just wrote it down, didn't you?
I
Just hand him
did.
your copy.
I wrote it into, I actually read the amended one into the record, so that's what Bill should use.
By the way, if the dog is insured, he's not opting out. He gets what he gets.
Shit, hadn't even thought of that.
I guess now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
do have
Throw him
that.
another milk
Any
bone.
further discussion of the policy as amended? Are you asking a
Real
question?
quick question.
Hey, I don't give tax advice.
Oh, God, no. No. For clarification, when does the buyout start? Assuming an employee does everything they're supposed to do with me.
Okay,
Like at the beginning.
beginning 1/1/26. Okay,
Perfect.
is that now do we have to say payroll period? Or do we just say
I think it's assumed whenever you get paid.
1/1/26?
1/1/26.
First paycheck.
Oh.
First paycheck of the New Year's payroll.
You're
Mhm.
going to be splitting probably the premium between 2025 and the new premium coming in 2026.
January 2nd is the
is the first payroll.
Is the end of payroll
So we
period.
would have to do it that next pay period.
Yeah, second.
That actually the coverage begins.
13th is the first board.
But
meeting.
you pay, when do you actually pay the January premium? In December?
We pay it in December.
So,
So the January
If-
1st is okay. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I think if you just,
Why don't we just say
Yeah.
effective 1/1/26?
Yeah, there you go.
And
Good
then
enough.
it doesn't matter. You
Get
know,
it when it happens.
you get it when it
But it'll
happens.
happen as soon as it can.
Right? Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
Are we?
We're
Oh,
gonna get to the, no,
This-
not yet, because we still have to do
This is
the
separate. Okay.
form. Okay,
All
so
right.
we're on the policy now. Motion's been made and seconded. If we're clear on what it is. 3 select board members, we're each going to have to.
Come on, hurry up.
All in-
Hurry up before somebody
You
else
wanna
says
run this
something.
flipping meeting?
Before somebody else
All right.
says something, let's
All
roll.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0, 2 abstentions. Now, moving on to the health insurance opt-out form. Are there any changes to be made?
Should we pull that paycheck thing out? Just that way Carrie can do whatever she wants?
Yep, which is
To
receive a monetary payout amount each pay period. Just take added to my paycheck and just say, so that will read that sentence, I am entitled to receive a monetary opt-out amount each pay period.
It's predicated on the policy being effective, then it's not really gonna matter because it can't happen until policy takes effect anyway.
yeah. Yeah, it was just say each pay period would cover it.
I'm not making eye contact with the back row. I'm just not doing it. All right. Matt or Kurt, any changes?
Each pay period works for me.
Okay.
so Carrie, when you implement this, I think what you're gonna have to actually, this year it won't be an issue because we've already counted the pay periods for in another meeting and we found out there were 13. But you'll have to
Spreadsheet.
maybe let's see, on an annual basis will it matter? I'm not sure. I guess it could. I mean, just if the paydays fall funny, it will matter how many there are because the dollar figure that the employee is supposed to receive is fixed. It's based
Yeah.
on the premium, not on the pay periods. So we need to make sure that it gets prorated across the correct number of pay periods.
Of course, there'll always be that little amount that doesn't fit, so there's going to be one adjustment check somewhere probably.
Probably, and that's all the kinks that will probably be. Well, I can certainly guarantee it'll start the discussion tomorrow.
I bet. Okay,
Get
so
some stuff set up and
we're back to, we haven't voted on the form yet. We need to do that if we're ready. We've taken out the added to my paycheck. Okay. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second for discussion. I just need to look at the
Comments,
VLCT
yeah.
comments again for a second.
Oh, I see what they said.
The second
Second.
the second comment I'm good with making that change.
Okay. If at any time my alternate coverage is no longer in effect or available, and that, Bill, for the purposes of the minutes, it's not the first sentence, it's not the second full paragraph, it's the last, actually, it's the
Last
last
sentence.
sentence.
BW2, yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so BW2 is, we're going to use that language.
Mhm.
I'm also fine with adding that second part at the end, so just be comma and I will no longer be eligible for the opt-out.
Yep. Good with that.
Where's that? Okay. BW3R2.
Motion amended.
Second.
Okay, so we now have the motion made and seconded to approve the health insurance opt-out form as amended. Any further discussion?
Stop looking.
It was glaring. That wasn't a look. That was a glare. Okay, if not, all in favor of the form as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Was that an aye, Matt?
Yes.
Okay, aye. So motion's 3-0, 2 abstentions. Okay, I think we've done it.
All right.
Is there anything else? No.
Let's talk about what we're gonna make the other two do next time that we're not gonna attend.
Yes, let's put them
Yeah.
both on the personnel committee.
Oh, boy.
You mean as bad as we are, it could be worse, right? Right. Okay, is there any other motion?
Are we doing anything with this? All right. All right, move to adjourn.
Matt,
Second.
motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All right.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thanks for bringing